In the middle of a small park in Seattle, there was an old wooden bench beside a lake. Most people walked past it without noticing. But every single morning, an elderly man sat there alone. Same brown coat, same black hat, same quiet expression, always holding 2 cups of coffee. The locals eventually became curious. Who was he waiting for? Or wife? Or child? An old friend? Nobody knew. Years passed. And still, the man returned every morning at exactly 8 a.m. Rainstorms, snow, even holidays. He never missed a day. Some people thought he was lonely. Others thought he was simply losing his memory. But one young journalist named Claire became obsessed with discovering the truth. One freezing winter morning, she finally approached him carefully. "Excuse-me, sir." The old man smiled politely. Claire pointed toward the empty space beside him. "Who are you waiting for?" For a few seconds, the old man stayed silent, then softly replied, "My son." Claire's heart tightened instantly. The man introduced himself as Arthur, and slowly, he began telling his story. 10 years earlier, Arthur and his teenage son Daniel used to meet at that exact bench every Friday morning before school. They'd drink coffee together, talk about life, and watch ducks on the lake. It became their tradition. Then, one morning, Daniel never arrived. That same day, Arthur received the call every parent fears most. A drunk driver had hit Daniel on his way to the park. He died before reaching the hospital. Claire felt tears filling her eyes, but Arthur calmly continued. "For months after the accident, I kept expecting him to show up anyway. He looked down at the untouched second coffee cup, so I kept bringing it." Claire asked quietly, "After all these years, why do you still come?" Arthur smiled sadly. "Because this is the last place my son was happy." The story completely broke Claire's heart. She wrote an article about Arthur the following week, and unexpectedly, the article spread across the internet. Soon people from all over the city began recognizing him. Some mornings strangers sat beside him. Others left flowers on the bench. One little boy even brought Arthur a drawing that said, "Nobody should drink coffee alone." But the most emotional moment happened months later. One snowy morning, Claire arrived at the park and noticed the bench was empty. No Arthur, no coffee, nothing. Her stomach dropped instantly. Then she noticed a small envelope taped to the bench. Her hands shook while opening it. Inside was a handwritten letter. "It said, Dear Claire, if you're reading this, I probably finally went to see my son again. Thank you for helping the world remember him with me." Claire started crying immediately. At the bottom of the letter, Arthur had written one final sentence. "Love never really leaves. Sometimes it just waits quietly on a park bench." Years later, the city officially renamed it Daniel's Bench, and every Friday morning, someone still leaves 2 cups of coffee there.